What is up, everybody? I hope you guys enjoy this because the irony is thick. What I mean by that is today doing my shut the fuck up on Deontay Wilder, the former longtime heavyweight champion of the world. And the reason I say the irony is thick is because I'm really doing this, after hearing about Wilder. I was planning on doing it no matter what, but especially today because it's November 4th, the day after Election Day, and Donald Trump is doing what Wilder has been doing. And I hope Wilder, I would assume he's a Trump supporter because he is doing the same exact thing that Trump is doing. He cannot take losing, and it's really a shame and a joke, and I know they're two different arenas, but losing is losing, everybody. I mean, there's no conspiracy, if you can prove cheating, great, prove it. But, in both cases, what I keep hearing is it's very unlikely that, that's going to be able to be proven. And, especially with Wilder in his case, let's go over why I'm talking about Deontay Wilder and telling him to shut the fuck up. Well, it all stems from his loss to Tyson Fury in their rematch back in February. He got his ass whipped in that fight. Tyson Fury fought the fight that I wasn't sure if he would fight, but I believed it was the style of fight that he needed to fight. And what that is not letting Deontay Wilder extend himself, extend his punches, because that's when Wilder's dangerous. He lands his punches. If he lands full throttle and steps into it, Deontay Wilder might be the best finisher and the hardest hitting heavyweight I've ever seen. The guy has lightning in his hands. He does. It's just insane power. And I have mad respect for him. He is the first guy I've ever said in my whole life that all it takes is one, and he doesn't even need to get better in terms of his skill. Because everybody, myself included, has knocked his skill from day one. And I get it. He started in boxing late. But I don't feel like he even works on his skill now, trying to jab and box at all. He does that somewhat, but he really just measures you to set up his power, especially his right hand. And you know what? God damn it, it works. He knocked out Ortiz the first time. He knocked him out the second time. I mean, he almost knocked out Tyson Fury, and he was getting outboxed pretty much that whole fight. And the first time. And he's always going to be dangerous with his power. I honestly believe, if he had more of a boxing style, he might have been able to fend off. Something on my nose. He might have been able to fend off Tyson Fury, but Fury just is a very smart, very tactical and intelligent fighter, and that's pretty much the gist of it. But let's get into the three excuses now that Deontay Wilder has used for why he lost to Tyson Fury. First, it was his costume was too heavy, and it wore his legs down because he had to carry that costume. Well, I'm quite certain he felt the weight of the costume when he put it on. Quite certain he probably tried the costume on in advance, like days in advance. Don't wear the fucking costume if it's too heavy on you. Like, what a dumbass. That is one of the worst excuses I've ever heard. Completely fucking ridiculous. That has nothing to do with an injury or anything. Like, dude, you lost. Now my costume was too heavy. Like, wow, is this really supposed to be about that? No, it isn't. That has nothing to do with when you climbed in the ring and boxed. So you still went in the ring. Shut the fuck up. I don't want to hear about a costume. And the next one was, I even had some of my buddies believing this. The gloves thing. That Fury didn't have his hands properly wrapped or some kind of shit about how the metal was showing in the glove. They even have pictures. Guys, I have not heard ESPN or any major network or writers talk about this. It's all conspiracy YouTube guys or bloggers and dumb shit like that I've heard that. And guys that want to buy into the hype and believe something, I could take a picture, a still picture, and point out a little detail and you could think something from that based on anything. I mean, it's ridiculous. You know, you got knocked out, you got beat up. Shut the fuck up, man. If your legs are worn down, how did you go 7 rounds by getting hit with metal too? Like, you know, come on, man. Oh, let me guess. You just have that much balls. You're just that tough of a guy to where your legs are worn down because of your costume and you're getting hit with a metal piece, you know, over and over and over, and you stayed on your feet all the way to the 7th round. Like, come on, man. You know, bullshit. Shut the fuck up. You know, that's number 2. And now his water was spiked. Oh, my dear Lord. You know, it's... I have never seen a guy make up so many excuses for losing. And the worst thing is okay, how, you know, you had a 3rd fight in the contract. You didn't follow through with it. Tyson Fury's moved on, not because he wanted to, because, you know, Deontay Wilder, I don't know if the injury rumor was true or what happened, but he didn't want the fight next. You know, I mean, Deontay Wilder, you know, you were turning yourself into a joke, man. You really gained my respect. I picked you in the rematch to knock Tyson Fury out. I did, because I felt like your confidence level, that Wilder's confidence level was on a whole new level, whole new, you know, status, man. Like the way he went in, knowing that he had the fight signed, the rematch signed with Fury, and he took a rematch with Luis Ortiz, a fight that he did not have to take. It was an optional defense. Nobody wants to fight Luis Ortiz. He already knew that Tyson Fury was waiting. He still went through it, and he knocked Ortiz out cold. And after he did that, I was like, wow. And the way he knocked out Dominic Breazeale, you know, back in May of last year, 1st round, just boom, knocked him out. That was fucking insane. He had a great year as a heavyweight last year. And, you know, I was like, damn, this dude's confidence on a whole new level. And he's rolling into a rematch with Fury. He's going to knock his ass out. And he didn't do it. You know, he got beat up. Like I said, Fury fought the perfect fight. And you lose. Shut the fuck up about that. But even injuries, man, I don't like guys that make excuses about injuries right after a fight. I don't like it. I like, you know, here's my opinion on, even Manny Pacquiao pissed me off when he fought Mayweather and talked about how his shoulder was gone. You know, here's what you do. I lost. He was a better man tonight. Or if you really feel like you won the fight, I don't agree with the scores. I thought it was closer. Whatever. Blah, 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 blah. Don't make excuses. Show some respect. The guy got the win. Unless it was complete rob job, which, you know, Wilder got knocked out. You know, Pacquiao had no business saying he got robbed. But even if you think that, okay, I thought I won the fight, blah, 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 then just go have your surgery. If you're really banged up and you're really hurt and you really need surgery, go have your surgery. That's going to be made public. And then people will ask. Reporters, people are going to ask, hey, what happened? Oh, well, I've had this shoulder injury for so-and-so time. You know, oh, so you had this injury going into the fight? Yes, I did. Do you feel it affected you in the fight? Well, yeah, I mean, I was hurt, but hey, I fought, I lost, I'm getting it repaired, so maybe one day I can get a rematch and be in better shape. But I knew I had the injury going in. It is what it is. You know, I mean, that's a class act and a professional fighter right there. You know, most of these guys are hurt. They got something going on heading into fights. All of them do, man. Nobody's 100% healthy. You know, they all got some kind of ailment, hand issues, this or that. And they all respectfully, you know, go in there, or they should respectfully go in there, and if you lose, you lose. If the other guy was better that night, then the other guy was better. Especially for a guy like Wilder, because he was champion for over 5 years. And the guy, he's one of those fighters that, because of his length, because of his power, he doesn't have to have great skill. And he's so big that, like, he could fight on as a heavyweight until he's 40 plus because of the power, you know. And he does have a pretty solid chin most of the time. He's been hit, and he's gotten hurt a couple times, but he's never been like full on like put down, face planted. He got wore down against Tyson Fury and knocked out, you know. And Fury was fighting him a little rough in there. So, you know, I mean, losses are gonna happen, guys. You know, and whether it's our presidency or whether it's in the boxing ring, the heavyweight division, the king of boxing, you got to learn how to take that, you know. And what you do is you lose and you bounce back, and it's sad because Wilder's one of those guys where he has the kind of power and everything to where he could bounce back and he could knock you out at any moment. And that's why he shouldn't be using all these excuses and crying like a little bitch. And that's why he needs to shut the fuck up. So that's it. Deontay Wilder, shut the fuck up already. Move on with your career and fight. You have options in the PBC. Go knock somebody out. Get a fight with Andy Ruiz. Something. Get yourself back in line for the world title. Set yourself up for the winner of Fury and Joshua if they fight next year. You know, get back in line for the WBC belt. You know, something. But you have a huge name. Any fight you're in is going to be big. And you just need to move forward. You know, and that's it. So, shut the fuck up already, Deontay Wilder. All right, guys. I hope you enjoyed that. True Boxing, you've been hit with the truth.